Hello guys, I am back for another video and today we're talking about what if deku was Virgil. So, in the last video deku, Izuku basically fought in the final exam with Momo, and after the final exam, Izuku started going on or at least started getting ready for the um training camp with everybody started getting all of their supplies as Izuku started going on a special thing with Momo's parents and also with Momo and also Eri was there. The media started pouring in as several photographers and cameramen started filming Izuku and Momo's family because they think that Izuku is basically like married to Momo. So yeah, and also they started basically seeing the child as they think that it's Izuku and Momo's child. So yeah, and also where when Inko saw that, well she was completely mad but also kind of proud of herself because that's that's her child Izuku, and she thinks that now she's like a grandmother. So yeah, after that whole thing, Izuku go to sleep. But before that, Momo was a bit afraid of the thunderstorm, so she wanted to sleep with Izuku. So yeah, so let's talk about what happens next. So Izuku started getting ready for packing. Izuku sees Eri. As Eri says, "Hey Dad, can I um have this?" And by the way, Eri is basically aging a little bit faster because she's a half demon. So she's when Izuku first met her, she's 3, but a few weeks after that whole thing, or at least a few months after that whole thing, she became maybe about 7-ish. As Izuku says, "Okay, Eri." So Izuku puts all of her stuff in Izuku's bag. As Momo says to Izuku, morning. As she sees Izuku in his room, as she says, what happened? Did we? As Izuku says, did you seriously forgot? You were afraid of the thunderstorm last night, so you decided to sleep with me. She says, what do you mean by that? Izuku says, oh no, not in that way. I mean, you really wanted to sleep with me. As she says, oh, 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 I thought you were talking about something else. As Izuku says, all right, let's go. As she says, where we're going. As Izuku says, did you seriously forgot? We're going to the training camp. She starts thinking in her mind. She says, wait, what? I forgot. I have to get all my stuff. As Izuku says, "Ugh, I'll be waiting outside, okay? Um, um, honey. As she says, um, honey. Izuku says, yeah, can I ask you something? As Izuku started getting closer to, Momo. And she says, yeah? Izuku says, I, I like you. And she says, she starts laughing a little bit. As she says, it's actually quite funny. I actually liked it, you, but I was too afraid. Izuku says, oh, really? As she says, yeah, that's why I denied, um, denied liking you. Izuku says, I guess. As both of them started laughing. As she says, alright, guess I'll be getting all of my stuff. As Izuku says, alright. As Izuku starts stretching his arms, as Izuku says, I'll be going outside. See you, honey. As she says, okay, sweetheart. As Izuku says, okay. So yeah. So Izuku and Momo are finally together. So Izuku made it outside as everybody is basically like waiting for Momo. As Izuku sees well basically like about 3 bags of like clothes. Most of them are just mostly for clothes. Izuku says, Momo, I think that's a lot. As she says, it's not really a lot. As Izuku says, I will be carrying it for you then. As she says, thank you. So Izuku started carrying all of the bags as he starts putting them in the gigantic ass bus. Izuku says, "Alright, Momo, guess you'll be sitting with me, I guess." As one of the girls saying, "Ooh, Izuku, you're so dominant." As Izuku says, "Whatever." As Momo comes to Izuku, as Izuku basically gets a kiss from her. As some of the girls are squealing a little bit, as the guy saying, "Damn, he's lucky." As Izuku says, Momo, as she says, "Well, you did confess to me, so why did so I think a kiss would be um proper for a couple like us." Izuku says, "Yeah." So Izuku starts basically goes up into the bus as they start sitting down. So they start going to the training camp. So wait for a second, guys. So they made it to the cliffside as Izuku says, "Hmm, this seems suspicious," says Izuku. As Momo says, what do you think it's suspicious?" As Izuku says, "Well, is it a bit too quiet?" As Izuku sees 4 figures coming out of some sort of like bush out of the forest. As one of them puts their hand well into the ground, as it basically cracks the ground as it creates a large ravine as everybody starts falling. Izuku acts quickly as he transforms into his devil trigger. As Izuku grabs onto Momo, as Izuku says, "Are you okay?" As Momo says, "Yeah." As Izuku says, "Here, you can ride on my back." As she says, "Thank you." As Izuku also gets Eri before she gets impaled like from like a spike. As she says, "Dad." Izuku says, "Are you okay, Eri?" As she says, "Yep." As Izuku carries her on on Izuku's tail because Izuku's tail is basically just imagine like his tail being like a python's body, but except it doesn't constrict. He's able to control it, like the pressure of it. Like he's able to make it so powerful that it can break a skull, but he's able to make it like um how do I say it? Stable enough that it would feel like it's like just like a belt. So Izuku grabs onto Eri with his tail as he starts flying. So Izuku tells Momo, "Here," as Izuku gives her Lucifer as she says, "What is this?" Izuku says, "You better get ready because I think we have some company." As Momo sees um basically flying like dragon stone like dragons start coming towards them. As she says, how do I work this thing?" As Izuku says, "Start thinking of blades and start throwing them." As she starts thinking of blades that are basically look like thorns from a rose. As she creates them, she starts throwing it at the dragons or the stone ones at that. As it basically explodes them. As Izuku grabs onto Eri, carrying her on Izuku's arms. Izuku starts flying faster. As Momo says, "Here we go." As she says, "Take this, blooming death." As she starts throwing a tons and tons of what she calls like thorns. As the big ski impales all of these, well, stone dragons, destroying them, Izuku drops them all off at the, well, training camp. As Izuku sees the, well, the figures, as Izuku says, "Are you villains?" Izuku brings out Yamato as they say, "We're not villains, we're heroes." Izuku says, "Then who are you?" They take off, well, the cloaks, as they say, "We are the Pussycats." Izuku says, "What?" As she says, "We are the Wild Wild Pussycats." Izuku says, "Never heard of you." As they say, um, "You never heard of us?" Izuku says, "Yeah. I only heard of like a few agencies, but never yours. You literally look like, well, furries." As Tiger says, "We're not furries." Izuku says, "Well, I mean, your whole aesthetic. No offense, but guess I'll be preparing for like training." As Eri says, "Hey, Dad, can I stay with them?" As um as wait for a second, guys. As the wild pussycat say, "Wait, Dad," and that would mean that the girl over there is the as they say, "No, we adopted her." As they say, "Oh, thank God. I thought you actually got her pregnant." Izuku says, "Well, whatever." Izuku sees a young boy, which is basically the same age as Eri. As um Madeley says to them, "Well, this is my nephew. His name is Kota." As Kota says hi to, well, Eri. Izuku says, "Nice to meet you, Kota." As Kota basically gets ready to punch Izuku right in the nuts, but Izuku just basically I meant teleports, I meant run super fast that it looks like he's teleporting. As Kota says, "What the heck?" As Izuku says, "If you're trying to punch me in the nuts, well, you're going to make me mad." As he says, sorry." As Madeley says to Izuku says, "I'm really sorry. He's just, well, really hates heroes for some reason, because, well, his parents died because they were heroes." As Izuku says, "Really?" As she says, "Yeah." Izuku looks at him. Izuku says, "Don't worry, I'm pretty good with children." As um Momo starts creating some shit. Mostly just some like materials to make like fire. As Izuku starts, well, getting ready for, well, training. Izuku started training, and also Momo starts preparing for training. As the rest of the class arrives, as they say, "Why didn't you just help us?" Izuku says, "Well, I do have, well, a girlfriend now, and I also have a child, so yeah." As they say, "Why would they just help us?" As Izuku says, "Well, as they say, fine." As Izuku brings out, well, some stew, as everybody says, "Whoa, it smells so good. What do you made from this?" "Well, just some venison and also some, well, some beef." As they say, "Venison? What is that?" Izuku says, "Deer meat." "Ah, super gamey," says Izuku says. As Izuku says, "It's one of my favorites." Izuku starts chowing down on some venison. Izuku says, "It tastes so good." As everybody else is saying, "Whoa, it tastes super good. How do you learn how to cook like this?" Izuku says, "Well, my mother was, well, my father abandoned my mother and also me because, well, he just cheated on her." As they say, "That's terrible." Izuku says, "Don't worry about me." Besides, the future holds many, many secrets. Besides, the future is completely unknown, so it's completely natural. So yeah. So after that whole thing, they finished eating as they started training, and then after that they started going to sleep. So I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.